Well, hello, hello, hello. How are we doing today? So I got up this morning and I was like, you know what? It's been a while since I've done a little behind the scenes. And I've had a lot of people lately who have been asking me about my live streaming equipment. What am I doing? Some people have noticed some changes. They're actually, if you've been around for a while, my live stream look has changed. It's actually changed quite a bit in the last couple of months. I've changed equipment. I have changed lights. I've done some things different. So pretty fun, really. So I'm going to go through the equipment and the stuff that I use. And I am going to just explain what I'm using. I might throw a little bit a strategy in there. I might explain some reasons why I'm using certain things. I may even point out some things that I wish were different that you might want to think about too. So first thing I need to do right now is smooth a couple things out. I was literally like running around. I just got a podcast episode published and I was like, I've only got like just a few minutes left. So yeah, it's all about getting stuff done today. So it's kind of like one of those crazy days. Okay, so I am going to say hello to Mr. Derek McLean. What's going on, Derek? We have Brett in the house as well. Hello, gentlemen. Super excited that you're here. If you are new, joining me live, my name's Melanie Diane Howe, and I love live video. I go live all the time inside of my Facebook communities. I have a couple of communities, actually. I've got one that is it's called DIY Marketing with Melanie. You can find it over on Facebook. Let me pop up a quick little thing for you so that you can see it. Because I'd love to see some of you join. If you're new to this whole
world of me, then come find us. That's where I hang out the most, is inside of my Facebook group. I have recently started doing more live videos on YouTube. Right now, we are multicasting. We are live on YouTube. We are live inside of that Facebook group. This one. Oh, I clicked the wrong banner, you guys. There it is. Oh, and I was using this banner the other day to, hold on, let me fix that. I was using this banner. I was yesterday. God, it seems like days ago. I was doing some screen grabs so that I could work on some of my graphics for my streams. And so, yeah. But anyway, this group right here, I go live there the most. We are live in there. And then we're also live on my Facebook business page. So don't know where you're watching from today, but if you are watching from any of those channels, say hello. I'd love to know. Derek wants to know about my headphones. D, you're getting ahead of yourself. I'm totally going to talk about them, but I will tell you they are absolutely not clear AirPods. Derek knows how I feel about AirPods. I think that most of the time they sound like shh. That's what they sound like to me when people use them. I keep seeing all the newscasters using them, and I can always tell. I'll be in the other room and the news will be on, and I'll be listening. And I'll be like, oh, do they have AirPods in? And Doug will be like, yep. I'm like, I can tell. I can just tell. I can tell. Unless I would love to see somebody with like the brand new AirPods, like the $200 ones. Those probably sound better, but most of the time they don't sound very good. So anyways, but yeah, so so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to break everything down. I'm actually going to talk about all of the things. So I am going to talk about these headphones that I have in as well. They are on the list. But if you guys have questions, let's talk. Let's talk to me. I'm going to switch up my screen, get into I have a fun little agenda I made. I feel like I've got everything in my agenda. I want to make sure real quick before we get started. Yeah. Okay. I think that we are going, hold on. Do you guys, I want to know, those of you that are watching, what equipment are you using to go live? Because I will say, I always like to point out that at a minimum, you do not need all the fancy stuff. What you need is a phone. That's all you need. I say this all the time, so I'm not going to rant about it. Go catch one of the replays of one of my other videos, because I pretty much talk about this on anytime I talk about live video or streaming or anything. That is one of the things that I point out for sure. So I always like to make sure that everybody understands, while you can get fancy, you should start out really scrappy. Just start out simple, get used to it, get better at it, and then slowly add things. That's what I have done. I have been going live since it started, since live videos started. In fact, Derek McLean, who's here, went live before me. He started first, and a couple other people started, and I was like, oh, I'm going to check this out. But literally way back when your little video was a square, and it was only square, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't there were no apps out there that you could, use to live stream. It was just, you had to use a mobile device. You couldn't go live on a desktop computer. You couldn't go live even on a iPad. I think you had to go live on a phone. You couldn't even do it on an iPad, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it was really basic and just simple. And it was like, what is this? Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm talking and people can hear and see me right now as I'm doing it. What? And it was terrifying. It was so scary, but it was fun. Like, and people could talk to you, and everyone was like, what is she doing? She's live right now. She's talking. It was so fun. So anyway, we had a lot of fun learning about the new technology, and Derek's a marketer as well. So just really embraced it. And you guys, that's how I started. And then I've just slowly added more toys and fun things along the way. I need to hold. I have a little space heater on, and I had to turn it off. Oh, I got these switched. I had to turn off. I forgot to turn off before I went live. So you might not even be able to hear it, but I can, and it's bugging me. I am downstairs. My studio office is in my downstairs living room, and it's cold down here. It's not a full basement. It's just the first floor, but it's like half basement. Anyway, it's just cold. The insulation down here is not good. So, okay. All right. You guys ready to jump in? We're going to talk. I'm going to tell you about my equipment. I'm going to show you some fun stuff, and you can ask questions. So ask questions along the way. First things first. Actually, because I want to show you more than one thing here, let me do one of my tricks. This is fun. This is always fun. This is a trick I learned. It's kind of like a little secret trick. It's not that secret. I'm going to pull up multiple cameras so that y'all can see all of the different cameras that I use in my videos, because people always think that that's fun and they enjoy it. I am making sure we don't have any audio issues. We're good there. Let me add the third camera. Yes, I actually have 4 cameras, one of which is back there, and it's I will talk about it, and it's not currently set up. So yeah, let me get this here. Oh, you know what I ought to do is okay, this is fun. I gotta change it. I'm getting there. I should have done this before. My apologies, but y'all can hang out. Y'all can hang out while I do this. All right. Let me change this one. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. All right, we're in. Okay, I'm ready. All right, so here's the deal. We're going to talk about cameras first. Okay, cameras first. I'm going to switch that real quick. All right, so here's the first deal. Cameras. So the camera I'm using right now is the Sony A6100. That is a DSLR camera. In order to use a DSLR camera with a live broadcasting and with a computer, okay, which is where I am on a PC computer, you have to have a way for your computer to recognize the DSLR camera as a webcam. So one of the popular ways to do that is to use a capture card. Now, there are capture cards on the market they range in price. You do not want to get a cheapy, crappy capture card. It will cause problems, and it will make using your very expensive, nice camera not very nice. And that's not the point. So you want to think about this when you want to use a DSLR camera. It's not just the DSLR camera. You usually have to invest in a little bit more. So it's a DSLR camera plus a capture card. Now, the capture card I'm using is the Camlink 4K. That's pretty much, if you Google DSLR capture card, that's what's going to show up. It's definitely one of the most popular ones. The other thing that you have to use, or you don't have to, but it's highly recommended, is what's called a dummy battery. And so DSLR cameras are portable, they're mobile, they have batteries in them that you have to recharge. Well, those batteries only last so long. Live videos take power. They require a little more power. Like, so for example, if I just go out and I'm taking pictures with a camera, that's one thing. But if I'm shooting video, it takes more power from the battery. Live streaming is going to take more power. And so what this does, the dummy battery, is actually a fake battery that goes into the battery slot, but it also has a way to plug that battery into the wall, like a DC AC adapter. And so the dummy battery goes in, it comes with a cable, you plug it into the bottom, and then you plug it into the wall, and then you have continuous power to your camera. It also, because it's using the actual electricity from your house or your office, it's also a little less draining on cameras. Most of the cameras, this is the case. So you would need if you're going to do DSLR, you're going to do a DSLR camera plus a capture method, I'll say method, which some cameras require an actual capture card, which is basically just converts your webcam or converts your DSLR camera HDMI into the USB, which goes into your computer, lets it recognize it as a webcam. And then you're also going to need that dummy battery. That's really important. Now, you can get really, really, really fancy with a lot of these DSLR cameras and get some special lenses. So the setting that I currently have, my lens is it's a 3.5 to 5.6, basically like that's your f-stop, and then a 16 to 50, I don't know what that is. Hold on. I don't know. A 30 millimeter. It's 30 millimeter. It's so it's a zoom lens, and I just butchered that, but it's the kit lens that comes with the Sony A6100. But you can also get different lenses that are wider angle, have a lower f-stop, which is going to blur your background. If I get real close to this lens, it's going to blur the background. This camera also has an autofocus, which is also what I recommend because you're going to move around. You're going to want to show things and it's going to change and focus automatically, just like that. The Sonys are known for their fast autofocus. The Sonys are also known for the processor inside of them. They are highly recommended for live streaming cameras. However, if you have a different DSLR camera, maybe a different brand, you could also use it. You actually may not need this. So for example, Canon recently came out with an application that's free from their website. You download it to your computer. It's a back-end app and it runs. And essentially what happens is it does exactly what this does, but internally. And so it kind of like tricks your computer to recognize your DSLR Canon camera as a webcam. It's called the Canon EOS Utility app. I used to use it. If you go back a couple months to some of my live videos, you will see the Canon M50 camera that I had that I was using the same way. Same thing goes though. You still need that dummy battery, etc., etc., etc. So that's cameras. The other type of cameras that are really popular that I think it's important for you to understand is the simple webcam. This is where I want you to start. I do not want you to sit here and say, I want to create really nice videos. What do I do? Okay, getting started with a DSLR camera. I mean, if you have the budget, if you already have the camera and that's what you want to do, you can make it work. But I definitely think that you can start out a little bit more budget friendly and you can start out with a general HD webcam. Now, webcams are hitting the market again. We had a major back stock of webcams in 2020. Once the pandemic hit, people started working from home. They needed webcams so they could do Zoom meetings. And it was crazy. You literally could not buy a webcam. And if you could, you were going to pay twice the regular value of it because of price gouging that was going on. So what I have, what I used to stream with before I converted to the DSLR camera is my Brio. Or that's actually the 920. This is my Brio right here. And it's going to catch up here in just a moment. But the Brio camera, which is this one right here, is actually a great camera. Okay, now, right now, my color settings are a little off because I haven't been using this camera. So I can adjust the color settings. This is a Logitech Brio. I can show you that I can make sure that's on. So this is the Logitech Brio right here that you're looking at. This is a HD webcam. It actually goes up to 4K. Now, you're not going to need 4K. You don't need 4K. You don't really want to stream in 4K. You can record videos in 4K, but Facebook's not going to display in 4K. Now, YouTube could, but that's a whole different conversation. Live streaming video runs into all kinds of, your quality is never going to be as pure as what the camera actually is meant to produce. And that is because of the downsampling that happens, the bandwidth that might be happening, the internet speed that might be happening while you're live streaming. So thinking about 4K is something that is way beyond in the future. So don't worry. Don't feel like you need to go buy a 4K camera unless you're saying, I want to buy a camera and I want it to be my camera for the next 2 years. Then maybe you should consider a 4K camera, but you're going to spend a pretty penny. This camera right here is $200. Now, the Sony a6100 that you saw a minute ago with the kit lens is about $850. So if you're thinking, I want to eventually have a DSLR camera, well, then maybe you should save your $200, put it into the bank, save it for the DSLR camera purchase. Now, like I said, if you don't have any interest in a DSLR camera, then go buy a really nice webcam, maybe the Logitech Brio or some of the others that are hitting the market. Now, another camera that I use used to use, this is where I started. This is the Logitech 920. Also a very popular camera that has hit the market essentially hit the market, I think 4 years ago, I want to say. And it is, so here's all three cameras that you're seeing. But the Logitech 920 is still a popular camera. The one that came out after it is the Logitech 922. Both of these are great cameras, but here's what I want you to actually think about. These cameras are old. They've been on the market for a long time. In my opinion, I think hardware should be refreshed. I actually am surprised Logitech has not come out with better, newer models faster. So what I would, if you're buying in the market for a webcam right now, what I would do is I would look at what's coming out that are brand new models from manufacturers, read the reviews, go to YouTube, do your research, and Google, or literally research the names of these webcams. And there are so many people that review technology online that you will definitely find somebody who has given that camera a review and is going to show you what it's actually going to look like. And so you want to do this because I got to tell you, a $50 webcam could be just as good as a $150 webcam. It just depends on the product itself, and you don't know until you try it, or you don't know until you see somebody else try it for you. So don't buy them blind, read the reviews, and do a little bit of research before you make your investment. That's what I absolutely highly recommend. So, okay, so cameras, that's cameras. So you want to start out with a phone. You can also use your phone as a webcam. You want to then maybe look at going to a webcam itself, a HD webcam. If you want to skip that and go full DSLR, know that you're going to have a budget for it. You're going to have the DSLR camera. You're going to need a dummy battery, and you most likely are going to want to invest in a capture card of some sort. Now, there are other capture cards than the one that I have, but that's the one that I'm using for my broadcast. Okay, so next, let's talk about lights. So I get lots of questions about lights. People always want to know, what lights are you using? So here's the deal. You need a natural light source to start. You don't have to go buy lights. Start out by facing a window, face a patio window. I don't care. If you don't have those types of items, then you might need to invest in lights. If I turn my light off, hold on, I will turn, actually, no, if I would have done that, I would have turned off my camera. Hold on one second. So this is what it looks like without proper lighting, okay? Now, let me show you really quick what it looks like if I open the curtains to my patio door. Watch. One second, because my camera's not on auto ISO. Hold on. Exit solo. How about that? This is a little bit better. So literally, if I had my camera set on auto ISO, it would automatically adjust for all that new light that just came in. But it totally changes the look in the scene, right? I'm lit up pretty well. You can see me very well. This is actually not a bad look at all. Now, the difference between this look and the old look is that, remember all those colorful lights I had? Now you can't see them. So it washes out things like that. So what I have recently decided to do is to go to all artificial light. So I close my curtains now and I use all my artificial lighting so that I can have that different look. So the disadvantage to natural light is that sometimes you can't have, it kind of sometimes can wash out your colors of your scene. The webcam that you use is also going to play a factor in this. So some webcams are going to pull color in better than others. I will tell you that the Logitech Brio pulls in color very well, but the Logitech 920s and 922s, not so much. You're not going to get the same vivid color that you get with the Brio. And then, of course, with the DSLR camera, you're going to get even better color and lighting. So that's something that's really important to think about too. Now, you want to know the light that I use, I will make sure that I show you that light. Let me go ahead and get back to my setup and I will switch back to fixing all that stuff. Okay, one sec. Okay, we're back. We're back. Now you can see the Brio, even with the Brio, all the colors kind of came back, right? Because I closed the curtains, which was washing out everything else. And we want to make sure that we don't do that because I want this look. I want to have the beautiful colors that, you know, I can have, of course, which those are the LED lights, which I'll get to in a second. But let me show you the deal. This is the light that I have, essentially. Let me share my screen. Hello, Violet. I see you. I see you. Beautiful Violet. You are here. I'm so glad you're here. And I do see your question. And I will get to that in just a moment. Okay. So let me remove, my other webcams because I don't think we need them anymore. So this is the ring light that I have. It is the newer, I can never say it, you guys. 18-inch ring light, okay? You want a bigger ring light. You don't want the little ones. I promise you, you won't be upset about that. I promise you. This is actually a newer model than the one I have. It has a little remote to it. Mine doesn't have that. I don't care which ring light you get. You want to read the reviews. You want to make sure it has lots of purchases. This has a lot of ratings, and it's obviously rated very high. This is a very popular one. Neor, can't say it, is known for creating ring lights that are very affordable. Elgato is another brand, but they're very expensive. They're very nice, but they're very expensive. But you really want to go with an 18-inch ring light, and the reason is because you want to cast that larger thing. So this is the ring light that I have. Now, LED lights, which is what's behind me that you see. I've got LED lights behind my desk, this desk back here, around the back of it, and then I also have some underneath. So what you see right there is because of the ring lights underneath it, and then of course what you see here is because of the ring lights, the LED lights around the back. I can change the color of those. You're also seeing some light up here that's shining down, and then you see some colored lights in the cubes, right? These are a mix of lights, and I use my Amazon Echo device to change the colors of them. And so what I recommend you look into they're called GoV LED lights. That's the brand that I have decided to go with. And you can get those either direct from the GoV website, or you can get them from the Amazon, of course, the beautiful Amazon. And so you can find all kinds of different ones, but these are really great to add a lot of fun and flair to your live streams. And of course you want to put them in the background, and you guys, these are like my new toy. All of the TVs in our house now have LED lights behind them so that it kind of backlights the TV. It's super, super fun and so fun, so cool. And so that's one of the things that I recently added. And once I added those, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to add more. And so there is a spotlight bulb up there, and it shines up on the wall. It's just a bulb. It's you can get a Philips Hue bulb. Those are expensive, like way overpriced. Like no, $50 for one bulb. I got these. These are the bulbs that I decided to go with. So I have the Philips Hue bulb up. Let me get that so that it's not going to go crazy. Sorry, you can't see that very well, can you? Dang it. Let me do this. Smart Wi-Fi bulb. It's FEIT, F-E-I-T. You can get these at Lowe's. You can order them online as well. I think they also have LED lights, which would be cool. So you could just have everything in one app. The GoV lights you can control with an app as well. But so the reason why I got these, I actually have the Philips Hue bulb as well. We have a couple of them. Like I said, overpriced. $50. One bulb. $50 for 3 bulbs. Hey! And the color settings on these are better. So I actually like these bulbs better because they can be white, they can be soft white, they can be daylight, and they can also change colors. So that's what's up there. Right there. That's what's shining on the wall up there. These inside here are actually tube lights. So these tube lights, you can just research like tube lights, like color changing tube lights. I got these at Walmart. They are like Monster brand. They are not nice. They're not fancy. They are plastic and they are cheapy. Like I wish they were nicer. They're lightweight and so they move around easy. So what I did was I just taped them. They are in the back of the cube and I taped them down. They're USB powered. So you could, if you have a computer and you wanted them to be on your computer desk, you plug them in the back of your computer and you'd have them. These are plugged into USB outlets that are plugged into the wall, but they get the job done. These were $30 for 2 of them. I got them at Walmart. They are Monster brand. You can also, Philips has them as well. They have the same thing. Really expensive. I think they're like nuts. They're crazy expensive, like over $100 for 2 of them. There are other brands out there. GoV on their website also has these light bars, but I don't know that they're available yet, but they also have the light bars. So that's what those are. Another thing you can look for are puck lights. You can look for color changing puck lights. Some of these are battery operated. Others are USB powered, meaning you plug them into the wall. You can get those at Lowe's, Menards, Home Depot, your home improvement. I mean, you can get them all kinds of places. Check when you go to the stores, go to the home theater section, meaning like the TVs and all that. You may find some of these little cute end caps that have fun lights. And then the computer section as well, especially the gaming area. These types of things are very popular with gamers. And then the other place is the home improvement stores in the lighting section, especially the under cabinet lighting for like your kitchens and things like that. That's where you'll find LED light strips, puck lights, all kinds of stuff. These add fun and flair to the live video. I mean, they make it fun. So I've had a lot of people talk about the lights that I've added to my live stream. So Violet, I just want to let you know, Violet has a question over on YouTube, and I am going to answer your question. I will actually talk about music. I'm going to talk about music today as well. So I'll answer that question when we get to that point. The other light that is not easy for you to see is not fancy at all. It is my hair light. Now by hair light, let me take that down. By hair light, what I mean is this guy up here. Hold on. See that light up there? It's a clip-on LED light, also purchased at Lowe's Home Improvement. And it's a clip-on light that goes up there, and when it's not on, you don't see the same dimension and depth with my hair. It's literally called a hair light. It's a light that you typically put above and behind you a little bit. It also sometimes will help with shadows that can, if you're close to a wall. But the hair light actually just helps continue the dimension of you, right? And so the hair light is kind of a funky one. It's a fun name, but at the same time, it's important. I mean, if it wasn't there, this would all just be like a shadow and you wouldn't see the same kind of depth. It creates more depth, which makes it look more real, which increases the quality look of your video. So the hair light is kind of one of those ones that's people don't realize is there. They don't think of it. That's not a fancy light. Like you can spend a lot of money on lights, but the hair light, that thing was like a $15 LED clip-on light that's meant for your desk. I clipped it to the top of my bookcase. So it does not look great, but it does the job. It gets the job done, right? And you want to know what my fancy tripod is for my behind-the-scenes camera? This one? You want to know what the tripod looks like? It looks like this. Oh, dang it. I did it. I got to switch cameras. Hold on. Add to stream. Go like this again. Switch it up and show you. It's a picture frame. That is the extra camera, and it's literally clipped on to a picture frame. I have little tripods that I have used for that and would consider using again, but I didn't want to add more crap. So I decided to take the picture frame down, and I decided to go all in with clipping it onto a picture frame. So it looks a little bit nicer. I like it. So, okay, lights. That's all. Those are the lights. Now, those are the lights that I use. So a ring light in front of me, a hair light above me, and then I have fun lights behind me. Those are not required at all. Like you don't have to have those, but you definitely need to have a light source in front of you. Sometimes it makes more sense to have two lights so that they can flank you. You're going to get a good balanced look. I have another ring light that I could do that with, but I simply don't want that much clutter. I have enough clutter as it is with my current look. So you know what I mean? So Tara's here. How's it going, Tara? How is Anchorage, Alaska today? How is it? Is it like, it's still morning for you. Is it dark there? What in the world? I don't even know. How many hours of daylight do you have this time of year? Be interested to know. Tara from Alaska. All right, so let's move forward. We're going to talk about microphones next. Okay, so microphones. I am using a Blue Yeti microphone. That is what I use. This is also my podcasting mic. So it's got dual purpose. Sometimes I use my JLab microphone, USB microphone as well. It's easy, it's little, it's super light. It just sits right over there on my desk. The other microphone that I sometimes use, I have not used this in a while, but this is the Blue Nano. So this is also a really great microphone. It's a lot smaller than the Yeti by like half the size. It's a little bit limited on functionality as far as what it can do from a setting standpoint. However, it's small, and I like that it's small and it's compact. I would the Nano is $100. I think it's $100. The JLab microphones that have recently come out are much less expensive. They sound very similar. I'm going to do a comparison video actually on these two microphones. And then I'm probably going to take the JLab microphone back. actually the guys at Best Buy told me, will you please buy this microphone, tell us about it, and then bring it back? And I said, sure. Because they were brand new. They knew nothing about them. And I literally know all the guys at Best Buy because I'm in there all the time. So I'm probably going to take it back. I like it. I do like it. I like how the JLab mic looks. I like how it's light. But you guys, I mean, I don't need 5 microphones. And I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4. If I count this really crappy thing I bought on Amazon 4 years ago, then I have 5. But we're going to say I have 4 because I don't want to show you that. I don't need 4 microphones. I have 2 Yetis. I don't need 2 Yetis, but I used to need 2 Yetis. I used to have 2 offices, and I was tired of wanting to do something in one office and not being in my studio. So I went ahead and I was like, I'm getting another Yeti. Done, right? Now I have friends that borrow it sometimes. But anyway, so I only need this little guy, and then I need this guy. So I'm probably going to take the JLab back. However, if you're in the market for a brand new microphone and you are want to be budget friendly, I would highly recommend the JLab USBs. Here's what's really cool about USB microphones. So USB microphones could just plug right into your computer. That's why I like them. You can get other types of microphones that have to go into an audio mixer. Those are going to give you really good quality. Typically, they are a lot more, you can customize the sound a lot more in those. But if you're staying simple, then you don't need the audio interface. Then you want to get a USB microphone. Oh, I do have a 5th microphone. It's tucked away. I have a Rode microphone that goes on top of a DSLR camera. And I just recently realized that I can use it, and I am going to test it soon. But it's a different kind of mic. It's a shotgun mic, and it's actually made for like using on the camera, like up there. So we'll see. We'll give it a try. I like to try stuff, but I like to just keep it simple and use the microphone that I already have set up, that I'm already using all the time. And that's what we're going to do with this. So, we talked about the cameras, we talked about the lights, and the next step is audio. And so I use the Blue Yeti. Sometimes when I'm on my phone, I will go live. I will actually use my headphones. I will plug my headphones in. That's completely fine. You want to try to use a microphone because microphones tend to block out background noise better. Like any kind of microphone, whether it be the headphones or the non-headphones, and they will help your audio quality sound good. Here's the thing that's important. Audio quality is pretty important. Video is also important, but some people think audio is more important. And you know what? It's an interesting analogy to think about. Think about when you're like doing stuff around the house and the news is on TV. Okay. Are you like watching that television, or are you like multitasking and listening to the television? If the audio was super, super crappy, you would change the channel. But if the video wasn't great and the audio was great, you probably would continue listening. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that talk about that it's less critical, especially social media video, because people are typically multitasking anyway. Annie's making her Christmas list right now. So she's getting ideas, but she's kind of multitasking, I guess. She's taking notes. But people want to hear good sound. And if they can't hear you because you're not using a microphone, or if they can hear you and they can hear everything else in the background, then they're going to get annoyed and they're going to just be done. They're going to hop off, right? So audio is pretty important. I think it's important enough for you to think about the investments you want to make. You don't have to go get a $150, $200 USB microphone. There are amazing USB microphones on the market now. I'll give you the same tip I gave you when it comes to webcams. Do your research, read the reviews, and go to YouTube, and somebody has reviewed that microphone. I guarantee someone has reviewed the microphone that you are thinking about buying. And so go on there, let somebody, let you hear how it sounds, let them give you their professional opinion, because that's what they do all day long. They look at the stuff, they geek out on it. So don't just buy something out of a whim. Do your research. Okay, that's what I would say, especially when you go to that lower price point. If you go to the higher price point, you're going to spend more money. You might get a better quality product, but you're going to spend more money when you could actually potentially get just as good of a product for what you need it for a lot less. Okay. So like I said, I use the Blue Yeti. You don't have to use the Blue Yeti. I like using the Blue Yeti because I also use the Blue Yeti for my podcast, which audio is pretty damn important when you're recording a podcast. Like, come on, it's pretty important. Yeah. Okay. So I had to just make sure you guys knew about that. All right. Those are the mics that I use. So we will keep moving on to headphones. Derek asked earlier, he said, what headphones are you using? And he was teasing me saying they look like clear Apple AirPods. They are not. These, if you were watching, you saw me unplug them a couple times. These are wired headphones. They go behind my ears. They wrap around my ears, which is what I like about them. They're almost non-visible when you're not paying attention. Now you can see them, especially with the lighting that I have. But if you have hair that hangs down, especially more hair than me, maybe not gray right here, you have hair that hangs down, nobody's even going to be able to tell you have headphones in. Now, I don't typically care if people can see that I have headphones in. Sometimes I wear these big honking things. You know why I like these? Because they're comfortable. These are okay, but they're not as comfortable. These right here give me a little better sound out of them. These get the job done, but the sound isn't amazing, right? The other ones, the sound's pretty good. Those are $20 Sony headphones, by the way. They're not anything fancy at all. These headphones are, looks like currently on sale on Amazon. Let me show you. So these are the headphones that I have right now, the ones that I am wearing. And I bought them, as Amazon tells you, on September 22nd. So I just got them this year. But they're clear. They wrap around your ear, which is what they're designed to do. They come with different ear things, different adjustable pieces. So if you don't like the ones that are in it, I think it came with like 6. So, but this guy's wearing them to like go work out, built for sports. I don't know about that. They're whatever. You know why they're built for sports? Because they go around your ear. But they're clear. That's what makes them so popular for streamers. They are actually pretty popular for streamers. And so I like them. Love to get him off there. There we go. I like them because they go around, but the way they're designed, I can take the cord behind my back. And it's just out of my way. So when I wear my other headphones where that wires come down in the front, then I run into the issue of, when it comes down in the front, I run into the issue of I touch it, I get tangled, I hit it, I knock it out of my ear. It's happened. And so that's why I like these better. These. That's why I like those better, because they're not in the way of my face and my stuff. I'm going to tell you, they're not the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn, though. Now, why do you need headphones? Would be something you might be thinking about. The reason you need headphones is if you're going to play music, which we're going to talk about in a moment, or if you're going to have a guest on your stream ever. If you're ever going to have a guest, you absolutely must wear headphones. It would be nice if we didn't have to wear headphones. However, if you've got a mic in front of you and you're listening to your guest through your speakers, sometimes that speaker gets pulled into the microphone, which causes an echo. And so you don't want the echo to happen. And that's why headphones are extremely critical. Now, I will say the software that I'm using, which I will get to next, has echo cancellation. It tries to help with that. If you've ever been on a Zoom call and you are listening to people and then you kind of laugh at what somebody says, all of a sudden it like mutes even though they're still talking, all of a sudden you can't hear what they said while you were laughing. Zoom has the same thing. It's an echo effect. They're trying to echo things because if you're talking and they're talking and you have your speakers on, people are going to hear you and them coming and the playback of them in your microphone. It's a mess. You need headphones. That's why you need headphones. It's the biggest reason why a lot of people also play videos during their streams. The same reason is important. You want to be able to not have the echo, but of course, make sure you can hear what's going on for sure. But the biggest is with interviews. It's an absolute must. It's an absolute requirement. When you do an interview, you must wear headphones, and you need to encourage your guests to wear headphones as well. So there you go. That's why we wear headphones. I get that question a lot. People are like, well, why do you have to wear headphones? I don't understand. You can't, nobody's talking to you. It's just text in the comments. That's why. So there you go. Okay, next is software. Oh, software. So here's the deal. You don't have to use software to live stream. I use software so that I can do fun stuff like pull up the banners, pull up the comments, and do all those cool things. Play the countdown timer in the beginning, right? So that's what I like to do. So the banners and the countdown timers and the pulling up comments and even the custom overlay up here, that is all because I use an application called StreamYard. Now, StreamYard is so awesome. I love it. It's a web-based live streaming application. That means I go to StreamYard.com, make my account's logged in, and I stream from the browser. There are other kinds of software that you might have heard of. OBS is one of them. vMix, Ecamm Live, Wirecast, and there's another one I'm forgetting, that are all really popular. And those are all, they're great. They really are, but they are much more complicated to use. The software, I honestly wish there was a version of StreamYard that you downloaded to your computer that was still simple like StreamYard. So the reason I like it is it's simple. Like I can do stuff and it's easy to do. The other applications are so much more customizable. They are way harder to use because they are so much more customizable. They do amazing things, but they come with a learning curve. I mean, like literally I have tried vMix before. I've tried OBS before. I'm actually now getting ready to start exploring another application called ManyCam. That's the one I think I would like to learn. That's the point, is you have to learn them. Like you got to like invest in some time. You got to find some people who can teach you. You got to find some online courses or some really great YouTube videos, and you have to like learn them. You can't just turn it on and figure it out. At least I can't. But you can go to StreamYard and say, let's do this. Create broadcast. Okay. Follow the prompts. Okay, great. I'm ready to stream. It's so easy to use. So I think it's really important that you consider that as you get started. If you want to get into the fancier stuff later, great. Go for it. Alternatives to StreamYard, which is what I use, BeLive TV and Restream. I would recommend Restream over BeLive TV. BeLive TV's come a long way. They have come back into the game. BeLive was probably the original third-party application that came out for live streaming, where you could have guests on screen, pull comments up, and then they got really lazy. They just got really lazy. They didn't really keep developing the product. They kept getting new signups, and they were making money, and I don't know what they were doing, but they got lazy, and the application became glitchy, full of bugs. They didn't create new features, and then StreamYard came along and dominated the market this year, and now BeLive is trying to catch up. And so Restream's come out, Ecamm Live's becoming popular. Like BeLive is like, they got left in the dust basically because they didn't do their job. That's how I feel. Now I've actually poked around the app again, and they are totally trying to make it good again. And they're adding all the same features everybody else added before them. So if you have BeLive, or if you used to have BeLive and you have one of those lifetime deals, then use BeLive. Okay, do that. But I use StreamYard. They are almost identical. And then Restream is another one. Restream's difference is it's almost built a little bit more for gamers because it has like 30 destinations you can multicast with. And they're like I've never heard of some of these places, but if you're a gamer or into that stuff and you want to restream to other places, it would be one you'd want to consider. So, but that's the software. Now, do you need software? Nope. You don't need software. Remember, I told you all you need is a phone. You do not need software to restream or to live stream. But if you want to do fun stuff like have countdown timers, overlays, pull up, people's comments, talk about, play music, all those things, then you will need an application, a third-party app. And so you can either go with a web-based one or you can go with one of those downloaded ones. Now, let me tell you really quick, the difference between a web-based version and a downloaded version. The downloaded versions they are heavier on your computer system. Okay, so they do take up a bit of power from the computer system. So if you have a really old, crappy computer, you probably aren't going to be successful. If you have a computer that has hardly any RAM or it's totally full, you probably aren't going to be successful. But if you have a decent computer that's, it's not like for example, a Chromebook that only costs you $350 probably isn't going to work, right? But if you have a PC, if you have a heavy computer, then you could think about those applications that you download. Now, the advantage to the downloaded ones is that they're not relying on the internet for your quality. They are relying on your internet, but it's hard to explain. Sometimes I run into audio latency. Actually, it's video latency. So the audio is faster than the video. So maybe it's happening right now. Maybe you're hearing what I'm saying a little bit faster than the way my lips are looking. And that is because I'm using a web-based version. So there are some disadvantages to the web browser versions, but the advantages are that they are so easy to use and they're quick. They are not going to be a barrier of entry for you. You're going to be able to create amazing videos with them. And so get started with the web-based ones. And then if you want to go into the bigger game, then you can absolutely learn how to use the other ones. If that is what you want to do, and if you want to learn more about it, I would go and check out Live Streaming Pros. Luria Petrucci, she's a mentor of mine, a good friend of mine, and David Foster. They are amazing. So to answer your question, Shonda, she says, what is your favorite place to research these products? I want to find a headset with a mic that is Bluetooth and I can connect 2 phones at the same time, yada, yada, yada. I learn a lot by following other people doing really cool things that are way fancier and cooler than me. Okay, that's actually how I learn a lot. I learned about these headphones from Luria. Luria wears these exact headphones, so does David. They talk about them, they recommend them, and I'm like, great, I'm getting them. So I learn a lot by watching other streamers do really cool things that are way fancier than the stuff I do. And then I either try to figure out how to do it with my simpler system, or it makes me decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and invest in the Sony a6100 because David Foster told me that's the camera I should buy. To give you the honest truth. Another person I like to learn from is Harris Heller. He's on YouTube. His channel is actually called Alpha Gaming. I love him. He's got like blonde hair. He has most of his stuff, like his target audience are people who are using Twitch, like gamers. But he has so many helpful videos on equipment, webcams, microphones. I mean, it's awesome. His stuff is great. I love learning from him as well. So that's really, I like YouTube, and like I said, I follow streamers. But most of the stuff that I learn about is either through live videos of other people or on YouTube. So that's that's where I learn about these things. So, okay, let's move forward. We're trucking along here. So the other thing that I have recently done in my studio is I've added Amazon Echo. I have Amazon Echo devices throughout my entire house. Actually, every light upstairs, with the exception of my hall lights, my bathroom lights, and the foyer light, are all Echo device enabled lights. So I'm going to say Alicia, because if I say the real name, then she's going to like do stuff. So if I say, Alicia, turn on the bedroom lights, she turns on the bedroom lights. If I say, Alicia, turn on the living room lights, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If I say, Alicia, wake up, she turns on the right lights and she tells me the weather. So recently what I've done is I invested in a plug, one of those Amazon or Echo device or smart plugs is really what it is. And what that does is it turns whatever device you have plugged into the plug into a smart device from an on-off standpoint. So I plug my camera, my ring light, and my hair light are all plugged into my plug, because I don't need these all the time. I only need them when I'm live streaming or when I'm on video. And I don't want to have all this stuff on all the time, but I also don't want to have to get up, flip all the switches and do all the things. So I just say, Alicia, turn on the plug, and my Amazon stuff or my live streaming additional pieces are ready to go. So eventually what I'm going to be doing is switching, maybe creating a routine that does a few other things. This is such a fun thing. So I actually have another plug on the way coming from Amazon, and I am hooking up the Christmas tree and my little Christmas village to it, because right now where I have to go to turn on all the Christmas lights and stuff is a real pain in the butt. So I'm going to put that plug in. I'm going to be like, Alicia, it's Christmas time. Boom, boom, boom. She'll turn on all my Christmas stuff. Plus, when I go to bed, I can be like, oh, I forgot to turn off the Christmas tree. Alicia, turn off the Christmas tree, right? So anyway, I love this stuff. But I have recently added the same thing to my studio. You can go really far with this. I mean, you can add all kinds of stuff. You can create routines with your lights. So if you wanted different colors for different types of videos, you could create a routine that changes the colors of these smart lights back here. So, that's also super cool if you have different brands. So I've recently done that as well, which I love. All right, so let's talk about a couple of other things that I do. So I use GIFs or GIFs, whatever you want to say, in my live stream. So let's talk about the graphics. That's essentially what I'm talking about here. I use Canva to create all of my graphics and my countdown timers. So Canva is an application that's amazing. I love it. And so this that you see up here is an overlay. This is called an overlay. And what it is all of this of the image is transparent. And so that transparency let me just pull it up actually. So the transparency is why you can see me. And that's what's important when it comes to these overlays, is that you can have different overlays in your video. So the one that you get with StreamYard is this one. By the way, if you want to go check out StreamYard and you want to get a $10 credit, you can go to melaniediane.com/StreamYard. So pull that up right here. MelanieDiane.com/StreamYard. That's my a page where it kind of gives you some features. And there's a link on that page where you can get that $10 credit. I'm an affiliate, so I get a little coin for that. So that's always nice. But also you get a $10 credit to play around with if you upgrade, because you would need an upgraded version of StreamYard in order to use the custom overlays, which I'm showing you now. So you get this one with the account, but then there's a different version that looks just like that. And like I said, here's the latest one that I'm now using, which tucks it up a little bit more in the corner. Doesn't get in the way of me. So I don't want it to get in the way of me. But the other fun thing you can do with overlays that I recently discovered, so you can upload PNG files or GIF or GIF files for these overlays. Now, obviously the transparent PNG files is what you want to use when you want to have this. GIFs are essentially animated files or movie files. They're kind of like little movie files, but they're short. So right now we're limited on what we can upload, the file size, as well as, well, really it's the file size for the overlay section. So for example, this is a GIF file right here, the party parrot. I love my party parrot. So the party parrot is also a transparent file, but it's a GIF file or a GIF file, however you want to say it. And those are a little harder to make and harder to get, but you can do it. You can order them. You can have somebody design them for you. But I did this one right here for when I'm like doing a live Q&A. I can pull that one up, and it's just like it's live Q&A time. So ask questions. So these are animated GIFs. Now another version of a GIF is can just be a static image or a short clip, like a little movie clip. And so, for example, I have a be right back screen that I can pull up if I need to step away and go figure something out. Like if I have a tech issue or if I need to restart something or do something, I can pull this screen up right here. And you should still be able to hear me, which is the cool part. But this is just an animated GIF as well. And so what it's going to do is it's just going to keep cycling and repeating. And then when I'm done and I'm ready to come back on screen, all I do is just turn it off and then I'm right back on screen. So I love the fact that you can do these types of graphics. These are the things that I make for my streams so that it's important that, you know, I do that. So yes, Bradley, you're right. On my overlay, I know that's actually something that I was working on the other day is I took some screen grabs so that I can design some stuff around the things that show up in screen. Because you're right, for you, my face is covered on this particular guy right here. So yes, great point. And I am still tweaking that stuff. But yeah, so those are the things that I'm using in my streams. The other thing that I use in my streams that I get asked questions about all the time from a graphic standpoint would be my countdown timer. So these are videos. So StreamYard also lets you preload videos. Right now, they can be up to 5 minutes. They are working on changing that. They are working on getting us the capability to upload longer videos. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But right now, our maximum clip is 5 minutes, and it can't be more than 100 megabytes. That's going to change. Like I said, I think they're going to make that longer. But this section allows me to preload a video in, and then when I go live, I just click on that video, it plays it, and when the video's done, it goes away, and as long as I'm added to the stream, I'm up on stream. And so I use countdown timers, and the reason I use countdown timers, the countdown timer, here's one real quick. Okay, you get the point. So the countdown timers, the reason I use countdown timers is because when you first go live, nobody's there. Nobody is there, like, sometimes for the first, 5 minutes, you know? And some people are there, or some people pop in and then they pop out. They kick the tires for a second. Oh, okay, cool. She's just going live. I'm out. So a lot of the reason why the countdown timer is nice is it lets your live get going. And then as people are seeing the notification or checking in, they decide, oh, cool. What is this? I'm going to check this out. So it takes people time to get into your stream. So that first 5 to 10 minutes, a lot of the time is when you don't have very many people on your broadcast. And so the countdown timer buys you some time, but also it kind of lets you do a few things to get ready for your stream. So as your countdown timer is playing, you might want to do some things like, you know, go check to make sure it's playing, go check to make sure there's sound. So you might want to pull it up on your phone and look at it. Some people will go live and then they will get online and they'll share that live video really quick to some other platforms. It lets you take time to do some of that if you need to do some things. It's just a nice time to kind of get warmed up. I really like it for that reason. And I also like that it lets my audience kind of get warmed up and get kind of situated. Ooh, okay, cool. I'm not missing anything yet. Okay, I'm going to make sure I tune in, or, oh, I'm going to go down to my computer, or, oh, crap. I'm almost home. I'm going to make sure, I check this out. And so it also gives people time to share it if they want to share it. So the countdown timer is just kind of a nice little warm up time. And I love using Canva to create my countdown timers as well. You can also buy countdown timers on Fiverr or other marketplaces where you can buy graphics. And they're pretty cheap, to be honest with you. But you can make them in Canva as well if you have a Canva Pro account. So let's talk about music, because that's kind of like on the same topic of countdown timers. And I know that we had a question about music and streaming with music as well. So Violet had a question. She said, I have a question. Can I use music from YouTube library when live streaming? So the YouTube library is a library of music, a lot of great music on there that you are able to use for your YouTube videos. I am not sure if you can play that music while you're doing a live. Now, I will tell you really quick, Violet, I use StreamYard when I go live, and I know that you can also go live just directly in YouTube. I haven't done that yet. I have not had a chance to explore how to do that. So I'm not sure if there's a music option. If there is, then you should be able to play that and have no issues. What you can't do is play the music from a YouTube library, and then like after let's say your live video is done, or your video is done and you use music from the library, you can't then download that video and use it somewhere else. That music that YouTube gives you in their library is to only be used on your YouTube channel. And so you're limited to where you can use that music. And so I do know that. So if you were going to ever repurpose your videos for, maybe you wanted to send it out in an email, or maybe you wanted to upload it to IGTV, or you wanted to upload it to Facebook or something, you would not be able to do that if you used the music in the YouTube library. So what alternatives do you have? So you can find basically royalty-free music. For example, Harris Heller, who I mentioned earlier, he has a channel called Stream Beats on Spotify. You can also go to, I think it's streambeats.com, and you can see his music there, and it's all free. Like, it's free to use. It's unique in style. It's electronic style. It's, dance-ish music style. It's all instrumental. I like it. I mean, I like to listen to it while I work. It's kind of like, I don't know, I don't have to think too hard when I use it. And so I like it, but it's free. So you can use his music wherever you want. Actually, it's pretty great. And there are other producers out there that have produced music that's completely royalty free. They basically say, use my music wherever you want. Others will say, you can use my music as long as you give me credit. And they'll make sure that you have some sort of credit in your description. But I also use Epidemic Sound. And so Epidemic Sound actually has a partnership with Canva. And some of the Canva, the music that I pull into my countdown timers is actually from Epidemic Sound, but because I'm a Canva Pro user, I get to use that music. They have a partnership. It's one of those things. But I'm also a subscriber to Epidemic Sound so that I can use their sound clips and other things for other reasons, but also I can play their music while I live stream too if I want to. And the way that I do that is I pull up Epidemic Sound. There's two ways I do this. So let me just start out with the easy way, which is Spotify. So I open Spotify, the app, and I open it up while it's opening. I thought I had it open. Apparently I didn't. I will open up Epidemic Sound as well. Bradley, I see your comments. I'm going to read those here in just a sec. Okay, so Epidemic Sound is here. And what I do is I share my screen. And when I share my screen in StreamYard, as long as I checkbox share audio only, and I can just share the Epidemic Sound Chrome tab, but the sound quality is usually better if I just share the entire screen. And it's going to pull up eventually. And I can play music that you guys would be able to hear. So, go to my fun little playlist here. That's probably loud, but I can adjust the volume right here, and you guys can hear music. Now, if I didn't want you to see that screen, I can actually hide the screen. And so now here I am playing music while I'm talking to you, which is what I do a lot of times when I do little work sessions. I'll work on stuff and I play music while I work on it. That's what I do. So that's epidemic sound, okay? The other way that you can do this is you can have Spotify open on the same screen. So I have two screens. I have two monitors. So all this is over here. And so I can do the same thing as long as I am playing something that is royalty free. Because if you play music that's not royalty free and you are using it when you're not supposed to, you're going to get shut down. And so we don't want that, right? Oops, what's happening? It wants to play the wrong music. One sec. So I'm going to play, I'm going to go to Harris Heller's playlist because I know that I'm allowed to play his music. And you're going to be able to hear it. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind too is that when you do things like this and you're running different apps and things, it can actually stress out your computer. It can run, you're requiring more work from your computer. So I would highly recommend to have all your apps closed, all your stuff closed down so that you don't run into any issues with that. So, is this playing? Oh, you know what? You know where it's playing? Hold on. This computer. I think it's... So there you go. So now I'm playing Spotify. So I'll show you. Now this is my screen. So I've shared my entire screen. As long as I'm sharing audio, then I'm able to play music in my stream. Okay? So that's happening. I can, again, go back to minimize or just showing me so that all you see is me, but you can still hear the music. And so that's one of the ways you can also play music while you're streaming. But again, you have to make sure you're playing music that you have the rights to play, whether it be because someone says you can play it however you want, do whatever you want with it, you don't have to give me credit, or because you have a subscription to a music service for that. So like Spotify, if you pay for Spotify, that doesn't mean you get to play anything you want on Spotify. It has to be licensed for streaming. And so Epidemic Sound is licensed for streaming. It's like, I forget, I don't even know how much it is per month. It's like $12.99 a month, I think. I don't even know. It's not, let me look. It is $15 a month. So that's what it costs for Epidemic Sound. I wouldn't necessarily do that unless you're going to use a lot of it. So, you know what I mean? It's a pricey thing to pay for if you're not going to be using it for a lot of stuff. So maybe start out with something free, like the Harris Heller stuff when it comes to music. So that is the music stuff that I play. And that was the last thing I was going to talk about. So literally we talked about cameras. We talked about lights. We talked about microphones, headphones, software. I talked about using my Echo devices. We talked about graphics. And we talked about music. And that is essentially my live streaming setup. The only thing I did not talk to you about was tripods. and tripods are simple. Like if you have a webcam, you don't necessarily need a tripod for it. You'd mount it to the top of your monitor. I have a boom arm for my microphone. I would highly recommend you consider one of those, but they come with mic stands. So a lot of times you don't need that as well. Those are just added costs for convenience when you're using stuff. So those are the fun stuff that I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to look at Bradley here. So Bradley says, I've also heard that having a semi-transparent starting soon image will help you confirm that you're really live. I've also heard that having a semi-transparent starting soon image will help you confirm that you really are live. Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't worry about it. I pretty much always know I'm live. I pretty much can see it. I can see it in the application that I am live. Yes, of course, you can go check that you're live. I can see a preview of my video when I'm in StreamYard. A lot of the applications show you that. Now, the transparent versions that you're talking about, you can't, right now, StreamYard does not support transparent video or transparent images. And when I say transparent, I mean, like he said, semi-transparent. So for example, if you go to Live Streaming Pros, you'll notice that when they start their videos, they have a countdown timer that's 10 minutes and they play music, and you can see them behind the countdown timer. It's like milky, right? So it's semi-transparent. So you can see Luria behind it dancing, and it's actually fun. I would love to do that. I hope that StreamYard or whatever makes a change so that they support that type of graphic. You bet your butt I'm going to do that when they do that. So, but I think that like OBS and others, they support that semi-transparency, which is another reason I'm kind of looking at just some other options. But I also like to specialize in the plug and play because that's where you all need to start. So that would be another way that you could do that. So Bradley says for YouTube live stream with OSB, I think you mean OBS, there is a music streaming service that is allowed if you include the text of the current music, which OBS reads in a text file. Yeah, I actually know that is true. And I do not necessarily know how to do that, but I do know that there are some services that you can latch on. Streamlabs is part of OBS, and that might be what you're talking about. But yes, there are tons of ways that you can play music and there's ways that you can provide credit, the right appropriate credit for that music. Because some of it is you can use it as long as you give us credit. Like there's a lot of that, and there's ways to do that, which is what Bradley's talking about. Bradley's on Facebook. He's watching on Facebook, but Bradley has a really cool YouTube channel. So he's knows a lot about going live on YouTube. So it's always super helpful. Bradley's in our Facebook community, DIY Marketing with Melanie as well. And his little YouTube channel is growing. It's been pretty fun. So so Violet, glad that you were here. It's fun. Violet is one of my newer subscribers over on YouTube, and she's doing some fun stuff. She's a crafter, and she's getting into making videos for her business. So it was good to see you. And Tara, I love that you're watching from the dark Anchorage, Alaska. Or no, she said daylight. She said daylight. Earlier she said it's daylight. So that's good. Well, go enjoy the rest of your daylight and enjoy it and have a good day. And it's always good to see you joining in on the live stream. So I just wanted to do this because, again, this is something that I get asked about a lot. And so there's two reasons I wanted to create this video. One, I wanted to just go through it all, right? And I do it a lot on Q&As. Like, so in our Facebook community, I do a lot of live Q&As, and I get asked questions about certain things, and I'll go through it, right? And so I wanted to do this particular video so that, and this is a tip for you, a little bonus tip, I can actually say, if somebody asks me, hey, what's your setup? I can be like, you know what? I did a full rundown on this a couple weeks ago. Here's a link to that video. And that way, I don't have to spend another hour explaining everything to answer that person's question. I can just link them over to the other video. And so, because it's a lot to go through. It's a lot to talk about. And so, I could do it super fast, but I'm not very good at that. I like to be helpful and like to provide strategy, and I like to provide reasonings of why, I do certain things. And so I tend to be a little bit more verbose when it comes to answering questions like that. So that's the other reason I wanted to create the video, so that I can repurpose it when I get asked that question. I can, of course, link to this video, and then they can learn what they need to learn. So there you go. You should do the same thing. Common questions you get asked should become content that you produce. That is definitely the way to go. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. It's been a good one. It's been fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you watch the replay, I appreciate you doing that. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll talk to you guys soon. The other thing I would say is that if you are over on YouTube especially, I would love for you to make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Also, click on the notification bell so that you know when I do go live, right? And if you're on Facebook, of course, like and subscribe to the business page the same way. So make sure you like the page, but also go up and say, get notified every time Melanie Diane Howe goes live. That's what you want to see. So, all right, you guys, I'm out of here. Have a great day. And it was good to see you. And again, as always, thank you, and go be awesome.